Hello everyone, welcome to 2 and 3D. So at the end of this tutorial, you should be able to get your puppet to have this parallax effect. So you can see when I'm turning my face, it's looking like, oh yeah, this like it's 3D. So his face is turning, his eyes and mouth and whatever is moving around. So you should be able to get this effect, and these you can also have all those triggers that in the video I actually posted, because I worked on this and I posted a video. If you've not watched it, you can check it out. So all those features are also transferred, so you can have his eyes move like this, whatever position. You could also use the dragger to move it individually while you're also moving your head around. So this is really cool. So let's just dive into the tutorial. Okay, so this is the original version of the, well, aside from this here, because I had to add this so that I will not have to go into Adobe Illustrator. So aside from this is the initial version, at least the version that I had as at yesterday when I posted that video, day before yesterday. So all you can see, no parallax. See, I'm turning my head around, no parallax. His head just moves around. So that is not what we, okay, I'm actually doing this because the client requested this. So he told me that he wanted his character to be able to turn while he's also like talking. So initially I was going to, which I'm going to actually do in this video also as a bonus, just to um, give you a different process, like a second version of this. But for now, I decided against using that initial version because I wanted the movement to be a bit smoother and more kind of realistic, since he's actually recording live. This would be a character for his podcast. So let's just get rid of this for now and go to our rig so that we can start. I've been getting so many requests to make new tutorials, and I know I haven't made any for a while now, and that's just because I've been a bit busy. I've been working on the software, I'm working on doing my own job and so many other things. So I've not gotten the time to make tutorials. And my plan was to actually, I got a camera and studio equipment so that I'll be able to record a full course. That's a comprehensive course that will cover all the process from the drawing to animation, including animation, because that is one aspect that I've not really covered as much on this channel. So how do I animate? Well, with my system, in fact, when I'm using Adobe Character Animator, I do combine softwares, because I don't just rely on Adobe Character Animator because it's a bit limited. Some of its facilities might not handle like something like smooth frame by frame, and some other few kind of animations like that. So sometimes I do rely on other software, but when I'm animating with Character Animator, in fact, I could make a whole like a 2 minutes 30 minutes video in probably less than a day. So well, okay, so this is here for this particular reason. Since we are going to be making the character parallax, we are going to be making his face turn around. If you just leave this here, you just draw it in, the parallax will look very, very awful. So whenever he turns around, it will look like something is dragging this part, but somehow this side remains still. So this is there so that it will be able to give you enough allowance. You can make this bigger, but this character will not be turning around too far. That was why I decided against that. So I just made it a little bit, just not long enough. So what you need to do is you need to come into like the way I've arranged my character. So if I select this is the hair, that is this part. So if I select this and then I use this, click this puppet at the top here, and then you click create clipping mask, boom, you have this in. And now when I click and drag these around, you can see that there's a way that you'll be able to get movement around, well, up onto this point, and it starts breaking, but we will not get there with this character, and that is why this would work. So let's just undo that quickly. And okay, so this is the face, the empty head, and this is the this ear, and then this is this ear. So to make this parallax effect work, what we need to do, because this entire FFT, that is the facial feature that I have here, this entire thing here is they move in the same direction. So when the character is turning his face towards this direction, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, they're supposed to move like this. And I know this is not ideal, but for this particular character, it works. Why I'm saying this is not ideal is because, okay, if the nose, in this case, because the nose is a bit, parallax works this way, objects that are closer to the camera would move faster compared to the character, to the objects that are behind. So this nose is sort of like in front of, is closer to the camera. So normally in an ideal situation, this nose is supposed to be moving faster than the others while every part is moving. But for this particular character, it's not noticeable. So we will just move this entire thing. And the reason why I'm actually cutting corners like this is because of the, like I said, the limitation that Adobe Character Animator has. And we are about to get to that limitation, and I have to use so many patching systems to get around this particular limitation. So okay, so now let's select this head, this FFT rather. You have to make it, I do not like making these independent, but you have to do this for this particular process to work. So you click that, and then you make this that, and then you because we are going to be assigning the nose tag, because that is what will be able to get us that parallax move. So because we are going to be applying that nose tag, we have to get rid of that for the nose. So for this nose, we have to get rid of that nose tag. So we have to, so that we'll be able to apply it for the entire character itself. So this now, I don't like what I'm seeing there. So let me just get rid of that, delete. Good. So you select this, and then what you do is you give it the nose tag, boom. So now this has the nose tag, and this, it means that this would parallax. Now, okay, let's just do this. Okay, yes, it's independent. So it has the nose tag. So this will parallax now. So if we just go to the record, I need to increase the parallax a little bit because 100 is not responsive enough. So let me just do this right here instead of doing it in our rig. So let's make this 300. 300 is fine. 300 is fine. You could go higher than that, but just take note that whatever you do here, like if you increase it by like 500, just know that it will parallax very, very fast. So a little turn would get this hair to expose that part that I do not want it to expose. So the 300 is really perfect for this. So you have to take note of that also. Now rig. Okay, so now let's select our puppet, that's Sammy, and then let's activate this, the camera, and now boom, as you can see, the FFT is parallaxing with his face, so you can see the eyes are moving, and this is what I was telling you about. So you see, because this is staying still, the parallax is looking very awful. So whenever I turn, it's like something is dragging the side below, and this part is not moving, and that is why we had to make that. So one thing the client told me to fix was the dragger. So for the arms now, let's say if dragging this, it stays in that same position. He doesn't want it to be in that position. So he wants it to be able to bounce back to the initial position. So that's just an easy fix, and I'm covering this in this video because I also want him to be able to learn from this. So you just come to dragger here, and in the drop down, instead of hold in place, you return to rest, like just return to rest, that's all. And then one other thing he told me he doesn't like was whenever the character moves close to, whenever he's moving his face close to, there's this scaling thing that is happening right there. So all you just need to do is select the character, come down to face, And just make sure you send this, you push this behavior parameter to the puppet itself. If you do not do that, whenever you export the puppet, you have to set this all over again. So take note of that. So now just come to scale, head scale strength. So get rid of this, make it 0. Once you do that, moving closer to the camera doesn't really make any difference. So it just stays the same shape, the same size rather. And make sure you push this into your source puppet. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have been able to get his eyes, this is the easy part. So we've been able to get his eyes to parallax, his eyes, his nose, his mouth, they are parallaxing. Now let's work on the hair. Nice. So let's move back to our rig. Okay, so now we are now getting to the hard part. Okay, now our hair, this is our hair, and it is in a face layer that is below the FFT layer. So it's not going to move. This entire layer is moving. So this entire layer is moving, but we need to get this, that is just this hair, to also move in that direction. An easy fix is to just carry the hair and put it inside here, and it works perfectly if you do that. But then you have to find a way to mask the entire FFT to this shape. If not, it will look very, very bad, because whenever the eyes, let me just try to do that so that you'll be able, well, it will take a lot of time, but whenever the eyes or whatever, any of these points, this object within the FFT comes to the edge, it will mask it. But the problem is there will be sort of like a white line over this, and just it will look very weird. So this is the best way to do this. Okay, now we select our face. If you select our face, and then you have to come down, and this is the limitation, because if I just click this and then I ascribe it, or I let's give it the tag nose, if I just do this, it will not work, because Adobe Character Animator, for some weird reason, it prioritizes the layers above it. So once it has noticed that, oh, nose has been assigned, any other nose will be overridden. So anything below it will be overridden. So this, in as much as it has a nose tag, which, okay, you're supposed to make it independent too. It has a nose tag. So it's supposed to, ideally, it's supposed to be able to move also, but Adobe Character Animator does not recognize these as a nose, because a layer above it has been assigned that nose tag. And just to show you this, let me go into our record, and then we'll try to do this so that you'll be able to see that it will not work. Okay, so now, boom, you see I'm turning my head. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so you see I'm turning my head, and my eyes and nose and mouth are moving, but the hair is still in the same position. So the hair is not moving. And that's just because of what I just explained. You cannot assign nose tag to two elements or two objects or whatever. You cannot assign that. So they this is the workaround. So you have to select your face, and then now, okay, either you end up assigning this hair to something else. You could assign it to the eyebrow tag, which also would work with parallax. But the problem is, whenever you move your eyebrow, it would also move, and that will not look good, because it's supposed to be sort of in the same position. It's not supposed to be moving. If you assign it to the iris, whenever you move your eyes, it will also move. And there's also an iris already, so that will override it also. So that's something to bear in mind. If you give it mouth, then you have to get rid of this, your mouth. And if you do that, it means your character will not be able to lip sync. So the only part that you can assign this to that will work is the nose. So yes, because the nose is just there, is just for parallax. It doesn't do anything else. It's just there for parallax. So it's the only behavior, as you can see, used by behavior face. So it's just for parallax. So that is the only object you can assign it to, or tag you can assign this particular head to, that will work. So now that we have it as nose, what you need to do now is you have to reassign, you have to give this a different head, so a different face profile. So our main character has this face profile, does it? Our main head should have a profile. It doesn't matter actually. So we select our hair and then we'll give it a profile. So let's just give it let's give it this profile. And ideally this is not supposed to work, but I think because I am not assigning any of these to our main head is displaying every single thing here. So this is supposed to only work. So this is supposed to only be appearing when you turn your head towards this point. But it will work now because our head is not assigned to anything. So it has to display everything. So now if I come to our record, okay. Okay, so now when I move around, as you can see, our hair is moving also. I don't know if you are noticing it, but our hair is also moving. So when I turn to this point, you can actually see it is now obvious that, oh, this is actually moving. So if I turn, our hair is moving. Perfect, perfect. Okay, now the issue that I'm sure you've noticed is the reason why it's not looking very, very natural right now is because of his ears. So, okay, so his ears are sort of like in the same position and it's not how it's supposed to be. So when you parallax, what happens is your ears move. But now there is an issue because let's say I'm moving this way towards this direction. This ear is not just supposed to follow the eyes to this direction. So this ear is supposed to be coming outwards and then this one should be going inwards. So it's like the flipped version of this movement that we have right here. So when you turn this towards this direction, this is supposed to be coming out more. So this is supposed to be displaying way more than it's supposed to be displaying more, not going in. And this is supposed to be going in. So it's like a flip version of the direction that your head is supposed to take. So now how do we achieve this? This is the part that really got me really messed up. It took a while for me to get this. So pay close attention. So now let's go back to our rig, and this is actually very cool. And honestly, I think I've done this before, but for some reason I think I forgot the whole process and I had to relearn it just now. So and I'm going to be teaching you this right now. So what you need to do is, because now we still need to assign our ears to, like, maybe give it nose. We still have to give it nose because that is the only thing that is available for us to actually use for parallax. So let's give both of them nose. That is the ear 1 and ear 2, and then let's make all of them independent. And now if I go to our record, it will not work. It will not move. That's because there's already nose assigned to this already. So this will override this. If you remember that we had to make this a different head profile, but that doesn't really stop it. It just means that, okay, this will only carry, this could work, this particular one would work, but this one will not work because there is this one will be overriding this one. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this nose will override this. This is a separate face right now, sort of like it is a separate face. So nothing is going to, okay, let me just do it. Maybe you'll be able to get it. So just to be safe, let's give this a different face and then this a different face profile. So let's give this one this face profile because we had already given this one this first one. So you are not supposed to repeat that. So let's give this one, let's give it this profile. It would be good to actually work with both of these. So let's give it this instead. Let's give this the one facing downwards. Let's give this one this and get rid of that one that we had before. Okay, so now that we've done this, if I go to our record, our ears should now be moving. They should now be moving. But the problem is, just like I said it, just like I talked about just now, when I move towards this direction, this ear is coming out. It's not supposed to be that. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be this ear that should be coming out, while this one should be going in. And if I do like this also, you notice this one is coming out while this one is going in, and that is not how parallax works. So we're supposed to find a way to flip this around. So we're supposed to find a way to flip this. This is not how parallax phase work. This is not how it works. Okay, so now we have to find a way to flip this, and that is what we are going to do right now. So let's go back, and this is actually really easy to do. I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out. So what we need to do is select this, and we need to flip this directly on our layer panel here. So let's come to this, our X scale here, and then we'll scale it by -100. So you just add a minus in front of that 100. And if you have 90 here or 100, you still flip it by that number. So you do not have to flip it by 100. You just add a minus in front of it. So now after doing this, you have to position it correctly, blah, blah, blah. Right now, let me just drag this in. I'm using Control just to keep it on the X axis. Let's keep it here. And then this one, you flip it also. So it will flip to this other position. So you add a minus in front of that X scale. And it's not showing, and it's going to be a bit difficult to move this since you don't have something to grab. It will be grabbing the wrong layer. So let's just do this, move this on the X axis to the point that we think is good enough. So this is, no, this, oh, I just need to move it manually. So let's do, okay, so this is perfect. This is perfect. So now that we've flipped it, Adobe Character Animator would try to calculate the parallax using, well, not using this. It will try to calculate it using the initial value of a plus. That's a +100, but it is a minus, so it will be giving a minus. This is sort of like in the programming side of things. If you imagine it as a programmer, you'll be able to get it. So initially it had a plus value, plus that's 100% plus value. But now, since we flipped it to a negative, what will happen is it will be giving its result in parallax in a negative. So it's giving a flip version of the parallax. So now if we go into our record and we move our head around, the parallax should be fine. Okay, so now our parallax is working fine. But if you notice, the ear is going too far. And I just think I just need to calibrate. Let's just recalibrate. Perfect. So, ooh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Going too far is going too far, is going too far. Okay, so I need to reduce. This is what I was talking about. So I need to reduce this 300. This 300 seems to be too much. So the parallax strength is way too much. Even the hair, I should have noticed this earlier. So why is it calibrating? Okay, let's just get rid of that. Let's do 200. Let's do 200, and then turn on our camera. Okay, so okay, you see, this is better. This is way better. Okay. If yours is still not, if yours is not still misbehaving, maybe you just move it backwards a bit. But I think it's fine this way. So you can see our guy is sort of like 3D, sort of. That's really cool. Okay, so as a bonus, like I talked about, I'm going to be doing something like a more crude version of this. God help me. Okay, so we've done the parallax thing. Now, what you can also do is to create more heads, and this is actually not going to work. Just realize why it's not going to work. It's not going to work because normally what I do is under head, there's also another head that these FFT and face fall inside. But in this case, it's just one head. So if I'm doing this right now, all I'll be doing is duplicating it into the main character, and that's not really good. But just a summary of what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to duplicate the head. So this will now be like this profile. So I'll place this profile, and then I'll create a head for this profile. I'll duplicate this head, but this time what I would end up doing is I will manually move this. I'll manually move these to a frontal, sort of like, okay, I'm trying to get a frontal. So move these, and then that's for the duplicate, not for the original. The original is supposed to be this profile, so you leave it at that. So now I'm supposed to be working on the frontal. So now I'll place this manually, come to the FFT, manually move that into place so that it will be a frontal kind of character. You move the ears into position, and then now you assign this to this. So now when you move your head to the center, it will flip, it will just automatically select the frontal, so it will look like you're actually parallaxing. But it's a crude way of doing it because it's you are manually remaking those heads. So I hope you have learned something. That's basically it for this video. Please give us a like, give us a sub. It will help us to reach more people. It will help us to reach you more contents like this in the future also. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.